What's up, everybody? It's Alan from Breaking and Entering. I am very happy to be here doing another interview today. We've got a full band with us. We've got the first time that we are doing a multi-state interview.
Yeah,
We've got Oh Geeez, Not Again, formerly known as just Oh Geeez. So we got
excellent.
Sean, we got Jack, we got Alex, and we got Nick. And
Producer Nick Cesars. Yes.
yes, so thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Alan. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, we guys just put out an EP, but before that, there's been a name change. You were formerly
Yeah,
known as just OGs, Geeez,
that's right.
and now it's OGs, not again.
Mhm.
So let me know what was kind of the reasoning for changing the name and what all went into it.
Sure. So I think it's something that we've always kind of wanted to do. The band, at least for me, just starting as a solo project, it kind of came up very quickly, and I didn't really have time to think about like what's the name gonna be? What's all this gonna be about? And so the full name was always kind of Oh Geez, Not Again, because that's kind of where it came from, this idea that oh man, I'm starting another music project, not another one. Like how many of these am I gonna do? So it was that kind of thing when I started it. So that was always the full name, and I always kind of thought that that was a really good kind of summation of what it was to go into it. This kind of it's a little bit self-deprecating, but also kind of inspirational in that we don't know what's going to happen, but we're trying another project and another thing coming out of this, and so as we wanted to expand what we were doing and make it a bigger project and kind of change our direction, we thought it was time to make that a full part of the name and go from being just Oh Geez to the full Oh Geez, Not Again.
For sure. Okay. And so with that, you also, as part of the kind of, I don't want to call it a rebrand because it's really not a
Yeah,
rebrand. It's a brand extension. It's a full
that's a
name.
perfect example of it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Self-titled acoustic EP that just dropped.
Yeah,
Some of the music that has been, previously in your live sets and things like that.
absolutely. Yeah.
Tell me about the work that went into this collection of songs because it's not really previously had been themed around, well, DuckTales and then cartoons just after that.
Yeah.
So tell me what all went into making this EP and putting this project out.
Yeah, so all six songs on the EP have all been actually previously recorded, and we reimagined them in this new acoustic setting with the full band. And that was our first time doing something in just kind of all together in one space where we were all
Mhm.
recording in one room and all produced with Nick. So that was a lot of
We have a bass
fun.
player
And
now.
we added a bass player as well, Joe Ludwig. So that was our first time doing something like that. And I think it was just a good reintroduction to who we were, but also expanding to being like, we're a full band now, where you're going to see our faces in what we do instead of kind of being, using the shows to promote what we do. But it was always our goal to, even when we were writing songs that were inspired by TV shows and movies, to make something that everybody could appreciate and understand, no matter if you watched the show or not. And this was kind of a chance for us to really demonstrate that and kind of show like these songs will work in an acoustic setting when it's just the four of us in a
Right.
room working together. And that was really what we wanted to use to reintroduce ourselves as Oh Geez, Not Again. Alex,
Okay.
you want to add anything to that in there too?
Yeah, just so for me personally, as the sole member in Columbus, Ohio, I always record my parts remotely. So I'm always a little bit detached from that. So to be, like Sean said, just four guys in a room doing it, I think it brought a different energy to it. Definitely helped it feel more live, and getting to track my cajon with Joe's bass just changed the whole dynamic. So yeah, we're really proud of that and happy with how it turned out.
Yeah. And Alex, I actually wanted to ask you too, because you're in Columbus and recording mostly remotely stuff. How long were you up here? As which kind of is kind of a teaser way to say how long did it take to make the whole EP?
Right. So I spent the whole week there. It was the longest time that I've been in Milwaukee. So basically, every night we were at Nick's house. He graciously let us stay every single night. And so we just tracked stuff all week, and then also got ready for the live stream on Saturday. So I had no problem with it being a longer visit.
I think it
For
took us
sure.
what, 5 days.
5 days to track everything
Yeah.
and mix everything too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And now Jack, you're involved as well, from a
Mhm.
songwriting perspective too, or is this Sean mostly writing the songs on this
I
record?
would
I mean,
say
how did it kind of
mostly
work between
Sean
you
is
guys?
writing. Yeah, Sean writes most of the music.
But
And
this is a good time to introduce that this was the first time that we had Jack on some lead
Mhm.
vocals on the project, which is definitely something
Yeah,
that we want to do more of going forward because I think we have a very different vocal range and timbre, and I
Amber for
think that
sure.
that
Yeah.
really allows us to do some unique things. And as we're moving forward and working on some even newer stuff, that's something we're really thinking about.
for sure. Now we mentioned that this is the first record that hasn't really had a TV element to it or an
Yeah.
influence from it. It's more the band being the
Yes.
band.
Yes.
You guys have already amassed a following, on social media for kind of having these themed, videos, songs, whatever, all based around kind of that general theme. What has the initial kind of response been to, making a record that is just the band itself? Because the way I think of it is like when bands are like, here's one from our new album, and then like people like kind of scatter, like, you know what I mean? But
Right, right.
what has the response kind of been from that?
I mean, we were all kind of worried about that. I think this idea of kind of
Mhm.
saying, we're gonna do something different, and the reason that you found us in the first place is no longer going to be our main focus. And that was a scary kind of thing to think about and to say. But when we announced that, I was so really gratified and honored that so many of the folks that were following us were really even excited about that and said like, we're glad that you're kind of going off on this new route. We're excited to see what you do. And I'm, that's a real honor for us because that shows that, even though they found us because we were making songs about a TV show or a movie that they liked, the thing that they really liked was the music. And that to kind of hear them say that and to say that, we want to hear what you do. We like what the music that you make. I mean, that's a huge compliment to us and something that we're just so grateful for. So, we really hope that they enjoy this new route for us as we start working on even more new music. And we hope that they'll continue to stick around and enjoy what we do.
Mhm. Yeah,
For
I'm
sure. And
kind of looking at this from the outside, being producer, and just like watching their live stream, I could watch the chat while we were doing the audio for their live stream. And the OG's Not Again fan base is really, really a positive and supportive group of people.
yeah, absolutely. And Nick, I was actually going to ask about your role in things too, getting involved with production. Um, what specifically was like kind of like a focus for you while you were making the record, and or was it kind of just an engineering standpoint? Like how did you kind of really get involved on this one?
Yeah, engineering primarily. We want to get the best possible sounding take. So we're gonna do things a lot. We're gonna repeat stuff just to make sure it's as good as we can get it. And then just like producing like vocals, you might tweak something, you might want to try something a little bit different, and like give the band like another set of ears just to be like, yeah, what if you try this? Like so let's just see let's see what happens. And
For
it's
sure.
because sometimes we can get tunnel vision. I like to call it demo-itis. If you're working on a song, you know how it's supposed to like that's how it's supposed to sound. But if you have another set of ears, you can open your be open to more experience, like or be open to more like different ideas, essentially.
Yeah.
And so we did
Yeah.
that a lot of that. Now I've been with these guys since they released Breathe back in was that 2020? 2022. Yeah. Wow, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So it's been cool watching them grow and kind of see how they've moved into the new sound that we're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually kind of want to
What
go off a little
does
bit on something
Oh
that
yeah.
Nick said there. The idea of having that extra pair of ears and having not getting tunnel vision on something because really a lot of what we did previously was just I would record something, Alex would do the drums, and we'd send it over to Nick, and he would just kind of mix and master it from there. And I think that's something we kind of wanted to get away from, especially with now not just with the acoustic EP, but where we go from here is that having him be more active role in how we're making songs and making the sounds and not just me going, all right, here's everything, do your thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that helps us really expand the sound.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you know, one of the things that stood out, even like when we first did Breathe, I mean, Nick, you came up with that whole like intro part.
Mhm.
And I think that's been really cool and fun with this new record that we're putting down, is giving Nick a lot of creative, you know, ability, or what, I don't know what to, you know what I'm saying. Having him, you be able to create some stuff with us as well has been really great, because it's another, like you're saying, like a third person, a third ear coming in and just really adding a new element to our music, I think is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. What does 2024 look like for you guys? What is the goal? What do you want to do? In my head, I always envision like this tour where you guys leave Milwaukee, you play a show, and then you pick up Alex in Columbus along the way, and then keep
I
going.
wish we could
You
do
just
that.
keep adding members as you go.
No, that'd be great. No, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Alex, you want to talk about the schedule? You're the schedule man here.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the first time ever we've had to really operate like a normal band, if you will, just because before we were operating on these timelines of these shows, and to be honest, having to rush every single thing that we did, making an album in 4 weeks, that sort of thing. And we put out a lot of stuff in that time frame. And so now that we can really take our time with things, that definitely again lends itself to the creative liberty. So we're going to try to put out singles consistently leading up to an album. Previously, we would have just dropped an album all at once, pretty much. So now that we can take our time with it, we want to really build this up in the best way we can, and hopefully loop in people that, have no idea that we were once inspired by shows, and people that are just into this music. So it's exciting. It's definitely interesting to spend, more than 2 days on one song. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to it. And 2024 is going to be a big year for us.
Very cool. Well, if people want to lock in with you guys and see what you're up to, I know that you already have a pretty sizable social media fan base, but where is the best place to go ahead and follow Oh Geeez, Not Again?
I think the best place to follow us right now is either on Instagram or on YouTube. You can find us at Oh Geeez with 3 E's, not again, on all platforms, and we'd be happy to see you there.
There we go. And don't forget, you can check out Oh Geeez, Not Again, as well as the rest of the Milwaukee music scene over at breakingandentering.net. You can find us on all of our social media platforms as well. And you can subscribe to this YouTube channel as well to get even more interviews like this one. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to sit down and do this. And looking forward to more Oh Geeez, Not Again in 2024.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan.